Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Going In Deep, the official live cast from Uranus.
Oh.
My name is Zach, and join with me are my co-hosts Mike and Max. Xander's not with us this week, and if you were watching before and you're one of the 3 people that watched this...
Right before.
Then we're sorry, but we had some technical difficulties.
But now we good.
I hope.
No, we good.
Yeah, should be all set.
Yeah.
All right, so since we're starting from scratch, and people still don't know, Max, what is this?
Well, this is Going In Deep, broadcast from Uranus.
That's what I said.
Anyway, we do a live stream now at Milliron Studios here in New York City, and we discuss movies that are eligible for the first annual Uranus Awards, which is going to be January 14th, 2018. Comic book movies, sci-fi, horror, basically anything that can't happen in real life. And we talk about them, we break them down, and we're like, oh, this should be nominated for that movie, or this thing. And that's it. And we are talking about my favorite movie of the year.
And we have better recommendations than Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So, what movie are we talking about?
We are discussing Logan.
The end of an era.
Rogan.
Yes. So, Mike, what was the plot of this movie?
If you don't know,
If you
Mike
were
is our
before,
official plot giver. That's it.
Mike has 2 jobs on the podcast, to look beautiful and to give us plot summaries.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's basically it.
Yeah. So, basically, the plot of Logan is this is the last X-Men movie that we're going to see with Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine and also Patrick Stewart playing Charles Xavier.
Yep.
So, it's in the future. It's like 2029 is the year. And there's no more X-Men around. And we are kind of wondering, like, why that happened. Like, what's going on? Logan is just a limo driver who's trying to make money. He's trying to take care of Charles Xavier, who's kind of, like, aging. He's not doing very well. And he's hanging out with a guy called Caliban, who was in Apocalypse 2. But he wasn't played by Stephen Merchant in that.
No, it's a different actor.
But either way, so a couple of characters show up. This little girl who we find out more about.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of...
Mystery
it spreads
ensues.
out from there.
Mystery.
Yeah, mystery happens. Yeah.
Great.
Just so our listeners know, I mean, if you are an avid listener, you know that was the most beautiful thing you've ever listened to, but also the most comprehensive one.
And hey,
usually it's just like, so this guy, you know, he's not doing too well.
And
yeah. But if you were watching before, that was not as good as my first take.
I don't know. That was pretty good.
I don't know if I can go over these non-spoilers again.
Well, let's just really go briefly over what you were talking about before. The little girl, who, it's not really a spoiler, her name is X-23.
Yes.
Or, well, her name is Laura, but
right.
Comic book fans will know her as X-23.
This movie relies heavily on nostalgia factor. I'm not going to be as sad when Robert Downey Jr. is no longer Iron Man, which they throw so much money at him. I don't even know that he ever would be. He'd be like 65 going, I don't know, maybe.
I'd be into it. I want to see like his Iron Man kind of also like graying.
But
like his hair.
He's already kind of starting to.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But like also whatever.
But it was really sad to hear that this is Hugh Jackman's last movie playing Wolverine.
And Charles Xavier's last.
That was brutal.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, so like huge,
That's that guy's name.
yeah, a huge nostalgia factor because we've been growing up watching them since 2000 with
Dude,
the first X-Men movie.
That's
I
crazy.
was 7 when the first X-Men movie came out.
Yeah.
I think it was like,
I think it was 9.
yeah, I was 9.
I still remember going to the theater with my dad and my sister. And this moment is scarred in my brain because they showed a trailer for that movie Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon.
Ugh, God.
And I was terrified to sleep.
I don't play those
just
games.
from that trailer.
I had nightmares from the first Harry Potter, so I feel you.
Yeah?
Oh my! I literally had to sleep in my. Hi, Mom, if you're watching. I had
Oh.
to sleep in my mom's bed for a week.
That was something else we talked about on this first take was Harry Potter and nostalgia factor there. And
Yeah, it literally just felt like the end of an era.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
without spoiling it, I did cry at the end.
You sure did. You
So,
sure
It
did.
means a lot, you know?
It's just crazy.
This is the culmination of Hugh Jackman's acting career as Wolverine.
Right. This is what everyone knows him as. Like, if you hear Hugh Jackman's name, like, you know, he did great movies. He's done Les Mis. He has an upcoming movie in The Greatest Showman. But, like, if you hear his name, you're like, Wolverine.
Yeah.
That is what he is. That is what he will always be known for. Like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, they are known as Harry, Hermione. Whatever they do, they will always be known as that.
So how weird do you think it would be once he's recast?
Oh, is he gonna be?
Yeah?
Do you think?
What, you're just never going to have Wolverine on screen again? That's the X-Men's poster child.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he would come back if he get the whatever?
They wouldn't do that.
I don't know.
What?
If Disney buys...
That's all talk. He said he would like to come back if he could be in the Avengers.
If he could be in the MCU.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Wouldn't you lose it? But I would also be kind of pissed. I'd be like, no. You're done. It's over.
It would never happen. I could see Wolverine being in the Avengers, but it won't be Hugh Jackman. They do what they did with Spider-Man and reboot the whole thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, I was just reading, like, Ryan Reynolds wants to do a Wolverine-Deadpool crossover movie. So that would be pretty cool.
I'd be into that.
Yeah.
I mean, if this whole Fox-Disney deal goes through,
That's what I'm
Ryan
saying.
Reynolds might be done playing Deadpool 2 already.
Wait, why is that?
No.
Because Disney's not going to produce those R-rated Deadpool films.
Have you seen the money that they make?
Yeah, but...
And I think they've seen the money that it makes,
But you're
too.
selling the Disney name.
I mean, time will tell for that, to see if they'll, like, be willing to do the, like,
Has
more
Disney
violent
ever
movies.
produced an R-rated movie?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Which makes me nervous because the Deadpool was so good.
Yeah.
And I wanted to stay like that, just like
Deadpool
Logan.
is hilarious.
It needed to be R.
It
Just like Logan, it needed to be rated R, and I am a little nervous that if Disney buys it, it won't be what we like need it to be.
Well, here's something, because we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, too, because we were talking about the Marvel movies. If Disney buys Fox, how do you bring the X-Men into the MCU?
Right.
Because you can't just be like, yeah, these movies have been going on for 17 years, and, oh, by the way, there's mutants all over society, and they've been around for hundreds of years, and there's a special school for mutants.
But
up in
also kind of
Westchester.
like whatever. Like I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, like who's gonna
Like
really
Justice
care?
League, they just brought in Cyborg and Flash, and we're just like, okay. And Aquaman, I'm like, okay, great.
I feel like that's like
It's
little
different.
easier to explain, though.
Yes, but we've never been introduced to them yet, except for in Batman vs Superman when they like pull up the files.
All people want to see is like, oh, I don't know, like Iron Man's about to be killed by like an enemy or some giant I-beam.
All right, calm down.
Giant I-beam comes out of like nowhere, and then onto the screen comes Cyclops.
Yeah, I would lose my mind.
Like, how cool would that be?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to see the X-Men in this universe.
I think it's gonna happen.
I just don't know how you do it.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Should we?
That's a big.
Let's get back to Logan, though.
The best movie of the year.
Movie of the year.
Spoiler alert,
Least
this
for
is my
minutes.
10th favorite movie of all time.
Are we going into spoilers?
We haven't even really.
We haven't, well, let's calm down.
Oh man,
This
it's
is
just
gonna
so hard to
take
do
some
this
time.
again.
We didn't do this again. We're doing it. Yeah, we did. Oh wait, what is your least favorite part of the movie, Zach? If you had to choose one,
X-23,
and why is that?
because of her temper tantrum, screaming like an ADHD child on caffeine.
Oh my god. And then my argument, that is what Logan does.
Yeah.
So,
But I guess the difference is that it's a child and it's just like more. Ah!
so if she has an adamantium skeleton though,
Mm-hmm.
and has the rapid healing factor, why didn't Logan just like slap her upside the head or punch her in the face or something?
You know what?
Why
I did
would he?
notice that she didn't really get hurt that much. We didn't really see her like get stabbed or shot or anything. At least not in too much detail. So there must be like some kind of thing about like.
Dude, there's a whole scene where a
Kids.
harpoon goes straight.
I was gonna
through
say
her.
that happens in
yeah,
like the
I
first
guess.
thing.
That's pretty much it though. Like later on in the
I
movie,
mean,
like,
compared
there's
to
a-
Logan.
Compared to Logan, of course. But
I'm not.
saying.
I'm not advocating for hurting children.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a special circumstance where really nothing bad can happen to this girl.
Well, what I was trying to get to was that if there's like a thing where you can't have too much violence with a child on screen or something.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, there's soldiers trying to capture her, and they have guns and stuff, but they're running at her and getting, like, within 2 feet, even though they have guns. Or they try to punch her when they have, like, handcuffs and stuff to capture her. That's all. Yeah, there's that harpoon shot, but that's pretty much
I
it.
have a theory, and I'm not sure about this. I mean, you would probably... The FCA, Film Critics Association, is that it? Who are the people that set up the guidelines for what is allowed and not allowed on screen?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think things are changing now that like Netflix is on.
Because I know
things are.
Oh, things changed for sure. I know, like back when I was studying film, though, there are certain guidelines, and a lot of directors just kind of took it as a challenge. Like, you know, you can't show a woman performing oral sex, but what you can show is the woman's head going down, and then whatever left is implied, right?
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
Hashtag 50 Shades of Grey.
Hashtag 50 Shades of Grey. I'm almost positive that a child cannot be in more than X amount of fights or something. Because in Spider-Man Homecoming, did you notice that he never throws a punch?
No.
Sure.
It's all like counters or throwing things with the webs. He never actually throws a punch.
That's also kind of a thing Spider-Man does, though.
What are you talking? In the original trilogy, he full on punches people.
Yeah.
I guess.
You ever played a Spider-Man video game?
That's a video
All
game.
of them.
We're trying to talk.
I'm just saying Spider-Man punches people.
Okay, whatever.
And I'm almost positive that a man can't defeat a woman in any sort of like fight.
Is that a thing?
If you notice, whenever you have a female antagonist, there's almost always a female protagonist that defeats that antagonist. Even in Thor Ragnarok, you had Thor didn't defeat Hela. Hela stayed behind, and Surtur blows up the planet.
Spoiler.
What about Blade Runner? With K at the end, he beats the female replicant. He like drowns her actually.
Yeah.
too.
Does he?
Yeah, he like chokes her. And
I mean,
holds her under
she's
the water.
maybe I'm wrong.
Spoilers. So many spoilers just happened right now. But like Jesus,
We're a couple weeks
Sorry.
out. If you haven't seen Blade Runner,
be better.
it's your fault.
Be a better person.
Yeah, and if you still don't know what this is, go back,
Yeah.
start listening.
Spoilers happen just kind of randomly
Yeah.
ish.
We give you one warning, and after that, it's free game.
Yeah.
Even if it's in another episode. You got to keep up every week.
Pierce.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
What you were saying? Someone was saying something about him.
Oh, I wanted to see him do more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he didn't have enough of a role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty much it,
He's
though.
just kind of basic, like, lower-level henchman, though.
Yeah, he kind of is a lackey in this, almost. I think he's pretty cool, though. He's got that sweet
Metal arm.
worm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't all of the Reavers have different, like, robotic apparatus?
We see, like, a couple
Apparatuses.
guys with, like, metal arms as well, but they don't really go into how much of an android that they are.
I'm almost positive the whole premise in the comics is that they are a rival to mutants, but instead of having, like, a genetic mutation, they have cybernetic advancements.
Yeah.
Because Lady Deathstrike, do you guys remember her from X2 with the long fingernails?
Oh yeah.
She is supposed to be a Reaver, but those arms are robotic arms.
Okay.
And I'm almost positive there's one too where literally it's like he doesn't have any legs. Instead, it's like tank treads
That's pretty cool.
and just all these weird. It's like very like 90s comic book. You know, when everyone had a giant mohawk and
Right.
skulls all over.
Yeah.
So
That's the comics, though. We're talking about the movie.
my point is that
Yeah.
they should all have cybernetic enhancements.
And some of them did, and you're right. Like, there probably could have been more of that.
Would you guys have been fine with seeing someone with like tank treads for legs and that?
For the tone of this movie, I think it would be a little goofy, but
I think they could have done it right. And the whole
I wouldn't
like,
have minded.
assault on his fortress, if all of a sudden just some like John Cena with tank treads for legs just rolled in with like a Gatling gun or something. I would love that. Logan just chops off his head.
Wait, speaking of like just chopping, can we just talk about the opening fight sequence? That was so good. Where he literally just wakes up drunk in his limo and these guys are like taking the wheels of his car. And then mystery happens. And by mystery happens, I mean he just destroys these guys. And we finally, like, within the first line, excuse my French, is what the fuck is happening? Or something, like, what the fuck is happening? And then we finally get to see the Wolverine that everyone's wanted, where he just goes crazy. He literally chops a dude's arm off, and then the arm flies away and shoots.
Well, I think the whole point of that scene really was just to establish the tone of the whole movie.
Absolutely.
You know,
this is different.
This is violent. This is gonna have a lot of profanity. This is gonna have a lot of blood.
Yeah,
for sure. Logan's not how he used to be. He's messed up in more ways than one. He's old. He's tired.
He doesn't heal as fast.
His one claw doesn't pop out all the way.
And then, like, in the next scene, you, like, see him, like, trying to, like, pull it out a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, like, I remember we were in the theater, and then as soon as that happened, like, when he just started going at it, everyone in the theater started screaming.
That's so cool.
Because everyone was just like, oh, my God.
This isn't a spoiler, because it's in the trailers, but what did you guys think of the X-Men comics?
I thought it was interesting. I'm, like, a little confused on how that works, though, in just their established universe.
Because, I think it was smart.
Like, who's making that?
Someone who saw all the stuff go down from the other movies.
I guess.
They're like, hey, these guys have saved the world more than once. Let's make a comic book about them. And
yeah, I guess.
Do you think they get royalties from that?
The comics?
Yeah.
They have to.
They would have to expose themselves, though.
I think they must be exposed, because if the world knows about X-Men, then...
Well, here's the thing is, like, the world, in that comic book, the world knows there is a Wolverine. But they don't know that Logan necessarily is the Wolverine.
Yeah, because Gabriella, the woman who's taking care of X-23 at the beginning, she says, oh, I heard someone looking like the Wolverine was driving a limo around town.
Yeah.
Not what his name is. Nobody knows his name is Logan.
Yeah, because she calls him Wolverine.
Yeah,
you're the Wolverine.
She was
strange, also, she was so good. She's more as the New Black, and she's so good.
Just like that.
Do that again.
You gonna hit me on live TV?
No, I stay to myself. I'm trying to think if we should. Is there anything else that we need to say before we get into spoilers? Besides, like, I mean, we can get more into the acting in spoilers, but, like, this movie was not just... what we were talking about earlier. This movie isn't just, like, a good superhero movie. It is a good piece of cinema.
Yes.
It is a good film. And you were asking the question, would it be good if you hadn't seen all the other X-Men movies?
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I think... I mean, like, to be honest, no, but... if you also just saw this as a piece of, like, cinema and you had never seen the other X-Men movies, you would still really appreciate it and think it's good.
I think at the end of the day, though, it's really hard to sell non-comic book or non-superhero people on superhero films. Like, if you met someone that was absolutely like, I don't like comic books, I don't like superheroes, I don't want to see any of that, and you're like, no, but this by itself is a good movie. You see any of the other X-Men movies and they said no, and you show this to them. I feel like there's enough fiction in this, though. There's like less fictional elements. I don't really feel like there's any mutants with like outrageous powers. Yeah. But I think people would still be like, this is okay.
Sure.
I think this really like knows its target audience, I guess.
But I think also if you showed someone The Dark Knight, they'd be like, this is really good.
Yeah.
And they had never seen a Batman movie. You know who Batman is. You know who Wolverine is.
Some people just really
not as
don't
well
like
as Batman.
I think more people know who Batman
not as well
is
as Batman.
Wolverine.
You know, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Those are like, you know, the superheroes. But like,
I think Batman's just easier to explain to non-comic book people too. This guy's a billionaire and his parents died, so he goes to fight crime, and that's where he just has a company that makes all his tech. Okay, great.
Now there's this
Wolverine,
crazy dude.
it's like, well, why does he heal? Why does he have claws?
Why is he not healing?
Why does he have a metal skeleton?
Sure.
Yeah, you do need that background on why he heals and stuff.
There's like a lot more background that you can't just explain in like a sentence like that.
I mean, I get like
That's true.
It was, I think it was in the Blade Runner episode that we did, but I mentioned something like there's just people who do not like fiction or like science fiction or fantasy in their movies.
But we don't make friends with those people.
Yeah. But, you know, the majority of what they watch is like dramas or like some kind of like schmucky comedy or something like that. Like, they don't like those elements of fiction.
Weird, artsy, independent films.
Yeah. Of course, this movie takes a lot out of
This movie is
film noir.
3 hours of paint
very
drying
noir-y,
on
or
a...
Here's
Everyone
the
said that.
thing about this movie. They released it, and like when they on Blu-ray, they released it as a film noir in black and white,
So,
and that was have you watched it in black and white yet?
my favorite
No.
theater, Alamo Draft House, actually had a solid week where they just played it in the black and white.
I would have gone to that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we definitely should have gone.
I
Too bad, so sad.
whatever. When I watched it, I've seen it so many times now, but when I watched it for the first time in black and white, it felt like a new movie.
That's
It felt like watching it for the first time. It was a completely different experience. It was so
Which one do
cool.
you think is better
The way they intended it to be.
in color?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like,
Yeah.
that was really cool. It was
I'll be honest,
smart.
as much as I love superheroes and I love movies and all that, I don't know that I would actually watch the black and white one.
Oh my god!
Unless
you
it was
have
a
to.
special event. Like, if we're gonna get a group of friends together and we're like, hey, let's go to Alamo where we can drink beer, watch Logan in black and white, I'd be down. Or like even just a movie night at someone's house. But on my own, if I'm gonna watch Logan, I don't know if I'm gonna be like, hey, I haven't seen
Yeah.
Logan in a while. Let me watch it in black and white.
I
like the
recommend it.
color. I'm not huge on black and white, but that's just
I'm
me.
not either, but like,
I'm sure it's great. I'm just not gonna revisit a film like that.
you should.
Too much other stuff to watch.
You're not wrong. Should we get to it?
Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
We need like a little flashy thing for spoilers.
Tyler, can you do a flashy thing? No flashy
Flashy
today.
things?
No flash.
Next time.
All right.
You have been warned.
Logan dies.
Logan dies, Xavier dies, and
Is that
it's...
how we're doing this? You don't want to lead up to it, or
That's the biggest spoiler, you know?
That's
There's
not
a
even...
lot of spoilers.
Those are the spoilers.
I mean, if you don't know, X-23 is his daughter / clone.
No, anyone that's read a comic book in the last 20 years knows that.
I mean, she's a major.
She's
Of the-
literally been Wolverine for the last like 3 years in comic books.
For comic books, but if you don't read comic books,
Yeah.
you're not going to be knowing too much about
I'm
it.
sure it's out there enough that
But I
people
will-
know.
What
I
would
think
like
that
to
was still a
say-
surprise.
What I would like to say is that
I
of
don't
the
think
major
so.
I think it was.
X-Men side characters, she is a pretty big player. Of the side characters.
No?
As far as like other media goes.
Is she a big character? Is that what you're asking?
Of side characters who aren't like Xavier, Storm, Cyclops, Wolverine,
I would say those are all main
Apocalypse.
characters.
Huh? X-23 is the main character?
No, I'm saying the first 3 that you named: Storm,
No, those are
Cyclops.
main.
Yeah, I'm saying of the side characters.
So who would
aren't,
be other side characters then?
Who's
Like anyone in New Mutants?
I don't even know New Mutants.
You see that trailer? You saw the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
No, I'm excited about that, actually.
Anyway, just X-Men covers so many characters
Mm-hmm.
that there's a lot of players in there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
X-23 is a bigger one, but she's not like at the Xavier school. She's not like taking classes.
She's not
part
Wolverine.
of-
She's not known as...
She's not. She's also, if we're gonna get technical, not Wolverine's daughter. She's Wolverine's clone.
Right.
Though in this, she is kind of closer to a daughter because she was not grown. Like, they established that there's women in this facility.
I think it was the same in the comics, if I'm not mistaken.
That she was... I mean, she was put into a woman and then the woman was
I
impregnated that
think
way?
so.
Okay.
I think so.
Does
Don't
that
quote
make
me
her,
on that.
Does that make her a clone, though, if she's not, like,
Yeah,
artificially made? Well, that is...
that is artificially
Yeah.
made.
No, but I'm saying a woman...
Mike, after the podcast, we're gonna tell you where babies come from.
I'm saying she was
Stoic.
birthed out of a woman. not in like a test tube.
It doesn't. It's still a clone.
Yeah.
Does the okay, whatever.
Regardless, they play it like this is his daughter.
Yes.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
And like, you know, at the end she's saying, "Daddy, Daddy," as he's dying and everyone's weeping.
Yeah, that was I like.
God.
Did you know in the comics Wolverine has his son,
No, I did not.
Dakin?
That,
What?
Yes, he has a
then-
mohawk, and he has 2 claws that come out the front, and one that comes out of like
oh, that's
his
and
wrist.
it's like kind of like curved or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like
That
3
bothers
there.
me for some reason.
Dakin.
And apparently he can. I was reading this. Apparently he can release certain pheromones to attract people.
That's fun. I do that every Sunday.
It's kind of cool. It's like Purple Man.
Little
Jessica
bit,
Jones.
little bit, yeah. So,
Should we talk? Let's talk about the first death that happens, and let's talk about Patrick Stewart in general.
those poor Mexican guys trying to rob the lug nuts off his car.
Yeah, you can't listen. It's chrome, okay? You're gonna strip the wheels.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. You know, that first death was really impactful.
That was brutal, and his monologue right before, being like, "I remember what happened."
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Was that
god!
Was that not the death you wanted to talk about?
What?
Oh, it was.
He was trying to make a joke about the cholos at the beginning.
What are you talking about?
What the hell are you talking about? Are we talking about Charles Xavier?
No.
Who are you talking
I was
about?
talking about those Mexican guys in the beginning. They butchers.
Oh,
Because you
we
said the
already talked about
first
that.
death in the movie.
Oh, whatever.
God, Max, it ruins the whole joke when you have to explain it.
You know what? Shh. I'm talking about Charles Xavier.
Okay.
Let's get to that. Would you like to continue on your tangent?
I was just really sad for the Cholos, that's all.
Before we jump right into it, can we like give a little background on it first, though? I don't want to
On
be
what?
Like, yes, Charles Xavier dies. Blah blah blah. You know.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to get to, but then I was rudely interrupted.
Get to it.
Okay, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Again, end of an era. We've been watching him since 2000 doing this awesome character, Charles Xavier. And, you know, throughout this whole movie, he's kind of like Old Man Logan, and his powers are withering. He has to take meds so he doesn't have
So
these
he's
giant...
kill everyone.
Like he
Yeah.
did. These
What did he
seizures.
do, though?
What did he do?
Where are the X-Men?
He killed them.
Yeah,
He killed them.
sure did.
And that's why he takes these meds, and that's why he's like old and doing really great tangents about get your barbecue chicken at
Apparently
KFC or whatever he was saying.
They were gonna do a flashback scene showing all the X-Men die. Why didn't they?
I don't think it's needed.
I would have loved to see that.
I would have liked to see it, but I don't think it's needed.
But then that same nostalgia you have over Logan dying and Charles Xavier dying, you could have had for all the original X-Men.
You have to bring them back.
And like
They
one
do a
flashback,
30-second cameo. Why not?
only like one flashback. I feel like one flashback, you have to have more than one.
I think they could have handled it in a way that like gave it more drama. Like I loved his monologue before X-24 comes in, but
So good.
like they allude to it a little too subtly, so it's hard to understand like fully what happened.
I didn't like the actor that played X-24. The acting was just like not very good.
I'm gonna punch
I know
you.
why they had him look like
Oh my
Hugh
God.
Jackman. It just seemed really weird.
I'm literally gonna punt you.
Uh,
I'm so mad at you right now.
shut the front door.
Anyway, X-24 ends up killing Xavier,
and it's also a clone of Wolverine.
right. Wolverine just spawns. He
Right.
just like makes lots of friends for himself. And it is so sad.
I don't know why, but apparently that's like a big thing in X-Men comics is that everyone is either breeding with everyone else or is a child of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of lineage. The show Legion is Charles Xavier's son.
Mm.
Magneto has Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch,
yeah.
and Polaris. He has 3 children who, you know, we saw Quicksilver in
Yeah.
Days of Future Past and
And the Avengers.
in the Avengers. Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch is in the Avengers now. Polaris is on that show, The Gifted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a whole villain in X-Men who just all he does is clone people, though.
Mr. Sinister?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people thought that he was going to be in this too. Because the post-credit scene for Apocalypse is someone from Essex Corp grabbing Logan's blood, which is apparently how they were able to clone him for X-23, and I guess by extension X-24.
Mm-hmm.
Nightcrawler's Mystique's son. I don't know.
Sometimes he is, and sometimes he isn't. Depending on what you're watching, I guess.
Everyone's breeding with everyone. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, X-Men is just kind of like a jumbled
Apparently
mess.
the X-Mansion is actually like the Playboy Mansion.
Get out. The movie. Anyway, Charles Xavier's death was really sad and really well done. X-24 kills him in the bed along with the whole family.
Yeah.
Yep.
That they all go and they get these horses get free from a car, and Wolverine or Logan, Xavier, and Laura all help them, and then they take them back to their place. They give them dinner, and they say, "Oh, this is the nicest night I've had in a very long time." And then X-24 goes up and just kills everyone in the family, and really that was like absolutely surprising to me that they just killed out the whole family. That was surprising to me.
That's part of what made that so sad, because when you
Agreed.
said that, where he's like, "Oh, this is like the best night I've had in like ever," and he's like, "But I don't deserve it," and then he goes on to explain how he like killed all the X-Men.
Yeah,
I was just, oh my god,
it was so well done.
yeah.
And then,
Sweet fight scene after that.
oh, it sure was.
What'd you guys think of all the Pee-wee X-Men?
Yeah.
Pee-wee X-Men. They were fine.
They didn't like give them too much of a focus, so it was like, okay. Like we see them use a couple of different powers, but it's not like, hey guys, let's all team up and fight the bad guys or whatever, you know. They're just
Except for like
there.
that very last part where they
they get the
Where they
little
team
gears.
up and fight the bad guys?
yeah, right, where they do just that.
But you know, they're in more mortal danger than any of the other characters. They're very vulnerable.
Did you care for them at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as much as Logan or Charles, but yeah, I care.
I
what
wanted them
happened
to
him.
get to their destination safely.
I don't know.
Canada.
It just seemed like a weird throw-in, I guess.
But that was the whole point of the movie. I mean, besides 90 other things, but to get them to
Mexico?
no, but like she was saying, but we need to get to.
Where were they going? Canada?
Canada, yeah, I said that like
Oh,
three
okay.
times.
Who are you?
You're done giving the plot. You're
Yeah, get out.
All right, bye guys.
That was like the whole point. It was like their journey to
They
there.
could have made a different point, though, and still tied in X-23, I feel.
Sure.
They could have had a different destination. What if I don't know, Colossus is still alive? And Logan knows Colossus is still alive, so he's trying to get...
Deadpool's friend?
Yeah.
I was just throwing in.
Actually, where is Magneto in all of this? He's probably dead, I guess, right?
Oh, I mean, the
Did he-
timeline of the X-Men movies makes no sense at all.
Well, all I want to
Especially
say
with Days
though
of Future
is-
Past, where they just were like, no, never mind.
Yeah, but he has the helmet. So if he was there, then he would have been protected by Charles's like mind blast.
He probably died of old age at this point, though. He was around in World War II.
Yeah,
He would literally be like 100 years old.
Right.
I mean, in the comics, he's super old, but he's like super buff too. When he's like got the X-Men Island or whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
He's got like a whole continent that's just like X-Men. And he's like, this is my land.
I want to live
Do
there.
you guys, when we wrap this up, do you want to, since this is a shorter episode, you want to do some fan casting for an MCU X-Men?
Yeah.
And, give me like an hour to prepare myself.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys start mentally preparing yourself now because we have a few more sections to go through.
Let's talk about Logan's actual death, and then when they tugged at your heartstrings with the very last second
Oh,
of the
Well,
movie.
something we didn't talk about that ties into that is Easter eggs.
Totally.
Go for it.
You're big on these, so
Well,
there's the
there's
samurai sword
The samurai sword, that's one.
from the Wolverine.
But, what was the girl's name in the Wolverine
Laura.
with the red hair?
Oh God.
Someone look it up.
Continue talking. I'll look it up.
So what about her, though? Regardless of the name.
In that movie, she tells Hugh Jackman, because her ability, she can see people's deaths, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I watched that.
Mariko. Nope. Yukio.
So, if I remember correctly, Logan asked her, "What is my death?" And she says, "I see you lying on your back, holding your heart, and something else." But he's lying on his back when he dies. Him holding his heart is he's holding Laura's hand.
But he's not on his back when he dies. He's impaled on a tree.
He's kind of on his back.
Through his back.
Through his back, yeah.
Just go with it.
And you're saying that Laura is his heart?
Right.
That's really cute and makes me want to throw up things. That's so...
I imagine they probably had Logan planned already then. I guess? Maybe?
Maybe.
No, I think they just wrote that line and then wrote the scene so that it fit and was a nice Easter egg.
Maybe.
What other good Easter eggs were there besides like the whole Deadpool teaser at the very beginning of the movie? That wasn't even like an Easter egg. That was just like their post-credit scene. I'm so happy they didn't do post-credits, by the way, because it would have taken away from the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy they did it at the beginning. Because you just like felt all of these feels.
Yeah.
I would have been... I mean, obviously we all stayed and waited, but like it was so nice that Deadpool was before. Because we just got like this... Everyone's crying in the theater if you're... whatever. And... It was just a perfect way to wrap it up.
I see you lying on your back. There's blood everywhere. You're holding your own heart in your hand, and it's not beating. And there was blood everywhere.
But his heart is beating if they're talking about Laura.
And if Wolverine's gonna die, there's gonna be blood everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. That's cute.
I think you could also think to Deadpool. If Deadpool hadn't been a success, we would have never gotten this R-rated Logan film. You guys know the whole history behind the Deadpool creation?
I mean, yes, but what do you mean?
Something
like,
in particular?
How it got made? Like the
you gotta
history
go
behind that?
more in detail.
I mean,
I think so.
So when X-Men Origins Wolverine came out, right? Ryan Reynolds was a huge Deadpool fan.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make a Deadpool movie, right? Because that character was so badly criticized, they were like, no, Fox was like, no, we're not doing a Deadpool movie. We're not doing it, right?
Right.
So the director, Tim Miller, made a computer animated sizzle reel of what the movie would look and feel like. And it's basically the whole freeway scene.
Yeah.
And showed it to Fox. And they were still like, no, we're not going to do it. I think like 5 years after that,
Right.
someone, which it may have been Ryan Reynolds, it may have been Tim Miller, leaked it online. And they uploaded it to like Reddit or something. And people saw that sizzle reel and they were like, we need this movie to happen.
Yeah, I haven't seen the sizzle. Is that like a sketchbook or something?
No, it's like computer animated kind of.
Oh, I gotcha.
It looks pretty good.
I'll have to look that up.
But it's like almost exactly like the whole freeway scene. Like it starts with him drawing, it shows him jumping the car, fighting the people in the car, shooting people in the head, all that.
Counting down the bullets.
I don't think there's counting down the bullets. I think that's something they added in, but whatever. So basically, Fox came to Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds and was like, we will give you a ton of money to make a PG-13 Deadpool, or we'll give you very little money to make an R-rated Deadpool. And they're like, we'll take the little amount of money.
Yeah.
And it was I think before it was the highest grossing R-rated film. And that changed the game, because now we're getting, I believe Venom's going to be R-rated. And
Better be.
they're describing Venom as a like a sci-fi horror, kind of like the Alien films. I think that just totally changed the game because of how successful that was.
Totally. And I agree with you then.
We would not have gotten this Logan had it not been for
No, they
Deadpool.
changed. They for sure changed the game.
Yeah.
No other superhero movie has done what they did.
Also, I'd like to add in Hugh Jackman took a pay cut or something to get the movie done too.
Did he?
I think so.
I believe
wow.
that.
Just like Ryan Reynolds did the same thing for Deadpool, I think. That helps a lot, because think about how much, like, Civil War probably cost just because of the names that they had.
Tons
in
and
the
tons.
cast.
I mean, this movie, the budget was $97 million, and the opening weekend it got $27 million, and then total $226. So, like, it made money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not as, like, much as Deadpool, but made money. Yeah.
Oh, man, this movie's so good, though.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I knew it was coming too when I watched it today, but like, I almost cried at the end.
It's so at the very, very end of the movie, after Logan dies, they hold a little funeral service for him, and one of the kids is holding a Wolverine
Yeah.
in the yellow costume.
Yeah.
He's got a toy.
And whatever, the speech is made by Laura, and then there's a cross made of sticks. And then at the very end, as everyone leaves,
That's when
the
I
last
cried.
shot is
Yeah.
Laura tilting the T to make an X.
Do you think that this movie,
Waterworks.
Do you think this movie should have ended the whole X-Men franchise?
No.
No.
I'm happy with, like, Logan is done.
What other
We're-
X-Men do you really give a shit about, though?
I'm excited about Apocalypse, all those kids. And Dark Phoenix,
All of them?
all of them. I was one of the people who loved Apocalypse.
I'm not gonna lie, they got me with New Mutants. I think I'm more excited for New Mutants than I am for Deadpool.
What?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I was not severely impressed with Deadpool. I liked Deadpool. I thought it was hilarious, but when I watched it, I was just kind of. I didn't think this is a good Deadpool story. I think this is a good way of explaining to people who Deadpool is. Like, to me, that movie was just very like setup of this is who this character is. Enjoy him for the next 2 to 10 years. You know what I mean?
It's okay, but you're wrong.
Whatever.
I don't have the time nor the patience to explain to
It's
you.
hilarious.
While
Is
you're
that
wrong.
what you guys are going for?
It was
No,
just
it's
so good.
Yeah. Like, it's not
But
just
the
funny,
actual
it's also a
the actual
great movie.
plot
It's
and
great.
progression. No, it's just very basic.
Okay, so what?
Dead-
Also, calm down, Jesus. Like,
Oh,
so
no.
what?
That's not
All right.
fantastic. All right, any more spoilers we want to talk about?
No, just
I thought it was interesting that they don't have mutants anymore because they're poisoning the water supply and the food supply.
Is that what they said that was?
Yeah, so Xander Rice, who I guess is the son of the guy that did the adamantium to Wolverine, at the end, right before Wolverine shoots him in the head, he talks about how they put a virus into, like, the corn syrup, which they allude to when they're at the farm. Like, the farmer that he's talking to is like, oh, you know, they're pumping this corn syrup into, like, all these drinks and, like, all this food and stuff.
I missed
And
that,
then,
I think.
and then at the end, Xander Rice is like, yeah, there's no more mutants because, like, we're putting it in the food and, like, we're controlling the mutants that way.
I totally missed that.
Really?
I believe you. I'm gonna rewatch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna rewatch it anyway.
Well, I know there's a plot line in the X-Men comics where there was no mutants for it's like 50 or 60 years or whatever, and then Cable finds a girl and he names her Hope because she's the first mutant born in like 60 or 100 years or whatever the fuck it was or whatever, and they call Hope the mutant messiah.
Mhm.
And so Cable, who is Cyclops' son, travels back in time and gives it to gives the little girl to Cyclops and is like, "Hey, this is your granddaughter now. Raise her." And Cyclops somehow knows that the Phoenix Force is going to possess her, so he trains her for years to control the Phoenix Force.
Right.
And that's how Avengers vs. X-Men starts.
Right.
Interesting.
Cyclops wants Hope to control the Phoenix Force and use its power to create more mutants because
Is that what it can do?
not only it's infinite power in its comic books. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I know for sure it was Scarlet Witch was responsible
Right.
because her kids died. So she ends up wiping out like 70% of the mutant population. So because there's only like 30% left and there's giant genocide of mutants, Cyclops wants to revive more or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the Avengers step in and they're like, hey, Hope's coming with us. The Phoenix Force isn't getting her. You can't weaponize this. Sorry. And the Avengers and the X-Men just break out in a total war.
That
Yeah.
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love to see that as a movie.
Yeah. We're gonna get Cable.
We are
Yeah.
gonna get cable
You saw the poster for Deadpool 2?
with the Thanksgiving thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
It looks,
good.
it looks a little weird, but I'm excited.
That's not.
I
gonna
like that
be
Dopender's in it.
Dopender.
Oh, yeah.
Dopender.
Oh,
For you, 10.
so good. So let's move on. What would you change if you could, besides the screaming?
Pee Wee X-Men. I get rid of the Pee Wee X-Men. I have it
Completely?
yeah, I have a totally different goal.
What's the goal?
Get to anyone else. Get to anyone else that I give a shit about.
Okay, so here's a little like minor thing that's pretty easy to miss. Is one of the Pee Wee X-Men that you're talking about? His name's like Richter.
Okay.
Right before they leave, like Wolverine falls asleep, and then they're not there, and he has to go chase after them. Right before that happens, that kid Richter, he's up in the tower with like the binoculars, and there's a radio up there, and he communicates with somebody very, very quickly. And on the other end, you can hear them saying, "You're clear between like 12 and 5. That's when the satellites are blinded."
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to somebody who's, I guess, probably in Canada or past Canada or something,
Okay.
and is more than likely a mutant. So there's something else out there that they didn't really get to. Which they could also continue if they made an X-23 movie that just like follows right after this.
Well, I think they said they're working on bringing X-23 back in some capacity. But
Well,
I don't know if
they
it'd be the
should.
same actress or a different actress. If it's the same actress, they might wait a couple years.
Well, I'd like to know who that kid was talking to.
That's true. I mean, that's a whole
Yeah.
place you could explore.
They knew that Eden, or they made Eden a target for all of them to get to, and then they had another destination after that. Clearly,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know what that is.
I almost don't care.
Hmm.
I'm just like, let
Yeah,
it be.
You don't want to.
We'll probably never
I don't
see
need it.
Anything?
With the way the X-Men films makes no sense in their timeline, and they're introducing Cable, I wouldn't even be surprised if they pulled some BS like Dark Phoenix 5. Here's X-23 as part of this group, which makes no sense, but just deal with it and suck it up.
They got they have Scarlet Witch, so maybe they could do something with that. Who, by the way, has like the vaguest powers ever in those movies.
So, Scarlet Witch's power is that she can manipulate probability. So she can make things luckier or unluckier, but comic book writers basically just screw around that so much to the point that basically her power is magic.
Yeah, like what's up with that?
It's magic.
Like in the
Magic.
what is she in Age of Ultron?
Well, she's never been in the X-Men films, though.
Yeah, not in with Disney possibly acquiring X-Men,
Yeah.
they're gonna have both X-Men and Scarlet Witch, so they can bring that in. But what I was trying to get to was in Age of Ultron, she like hypnotizes people. She has telepathy or like psychic powers as well, or like I don't know.
But she's also not a mutant in that.
It's very undefined, is what I'm saying. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something I just want to say I'd like to change about the movie, though, is X-24. I think they could have just had anybody else, just as long as it was like a violent or hard-to-beat bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't really... I don't know. They already had X-23, who's a clone. They didn't need more Wolverine clones. We already have, like...
What if it was an army of Wolverine clones?
Just lots of Hugh Jackmans everywhere.
Yeah. Like 50 Hugh Jackmans.
That'd be great.
A problem I actually have with some of the older X-Men is that they focus too much on not just Wolverine, who, I mean, I get it, like, he's the main guy, he's the main X-Men. He's the poster child. But besides them focusing way too much on Jean Grey and the Phoenix, I felt they focused way too much on Wolverine. Because, like, the first 3 movies are basically about him.
All the movies are...
Yeah.
Except for First Class.
Yeah, but Cyclops is important. Xavier... Well,
Yeah.
Xavier's in it a lot, I guess. But they just... I don't know. That's all.
They kind of take a back seat.
So, like...
Because they know what sells.
For me, X-24...
Also Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. But for me, X-24 kind of, like, builds off of that, too, where it's kind of... Okay, it's just about Wolverine. That's all. I would have liked to see, like, just a bad guy that just wasn't him. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter who it would be.
I don't know if I would change anything about this movie. Again, I think I said it earlier, this is my 10th favorite movie of all time. So, you know, in my top 10, I can't really think of things that I would change. I'm sure there's like some little thing I'd be like, oh, I wish that this happened or that this person did this, but like...
But you just can't think of it?
No.
It's like nitpicking.
It's like the biggest nitpicking. I think this movie was so good.
It was. It was really it was amazing.
So obviously, would you recommend it?
We skipped Where's This Going?
Well, where's this going? We've kind of talked about it, but where's this going?
X-23 movie, I guess.
Logan 2, The Return of Hugh Jackman.
No.
No, again,
No.
I think if we ever see Wolverine again, it'd be in the MCU,
Different actor.
different actor.
Yeah.
See, as far as X-Men films go, we got New Mutants, Deadpool 2, and X-Men Dark Phoenix next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, do you think...
They're not going to... I mean, as
How
far as,
many
like,
more-
this is not... they're not making Logan 2. Obviously.
How many more X-Men movies do you think they'll make? Like, Fox will make?
I'm not bored yet.
I guess. Wait, so if they sell X-Men, they won't be making any more?
Right. They'd have to reboot it.
No, not them, not Fox. Marvel/Disney.
I'm just saying the movies would be rebooted. If they don't sell, though, how much longer do you drag this out? And if they don't sell, at what point do you recast Wolverine?
To get money.
Yeah.
So wait, let me just establish it. We're talking about under Marvel, right?
No.
I'm just saying in general.
Just in general.
Like let's say Fox does not sell to Disney, right?
Yeah.
And they just keep making X-Men movies. At what point do you recast Wolverine? And how?
You make a movie without Wolverine at first and see how that plays out, maybe?
Well, we're getting 3 next year.
I don't know, though. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good question.
We'll find out.
Get to see more Cyclops, because he's not really explored too much.
But those characters are easier to recast because they don't have that weird aging factor. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like we pretty much established through these movies that Wolverine has basically looked the same since like World War or not even World War One, like the
Before that.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Maybe even earlier. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be like, hey, this is a younger Wolverine.
Right.
I think they just have to James Bond it, or like they did with the Hulk, and just like suck it up. This is Wolverine now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's probably what they would do, but I don't know. I can't see them putting Wolverine back in right now.
They have a lot of
They don't need
characters
to.
use.
They don't need to yet.
What would you want to see from someone cast as Wolverine in the future?
Hugh Jackman Part 2.
The costume. I think that would probably help.
That'd be
too.
fun.
Okay.
I think
That'd be a
would
good way to
really-
get us in immediately.
I think that would really help with a recast as well, because if he's actually wearing his costume, it won't bother people as much.
I want to see someone short.
Like
I think Wolverine in the
stocky
comics
and
is
stuff.
supposed to be like 5'2".
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's
You're right.
Pretty small and hairy.
Who is small and buff in Hollywood?
Me.
Can I see your angry face?
Nailed it. I don't know. I just want Hugh Jackman at all
Tyler,
times.
who's small and angry? An actor.
In Hollywood.
And Harry.
I don't know.
Thanks, Tyler.
Danny
Okay.
DeVito.
Get out. Let's move on. Would you recommend it?
Yeah.
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 Hey,
Yeah.
hey, gang, I'm the Wolverine.
What? I don't know what's happening.
It's Always Sunny.
Oh yeah, Danny DeVito. Never.
I
know
love
what
It's
you're
Always
talking
Sunny.
No, I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen It's Always Sunny?
No.
It's
Go
always
home
weird.
and start watching.
Yeah, before they take it's on Netflix. They're actually
I know.
taking it off though.
They took 30 Rock off. I was very upset.
Yeah, because they're putting it on Hulu now.
Yeah. Let's get to our nominations, shall we?
Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Patrick Stewart. Saddest Death, and
For which or both?
no, I'm gonna say saddest death for Patrick Stewart, but the Feels Award for Logan's death. Because more than it was sad, it just really hurt in the feels.
Yeah,
I feel you there.
that's pretty bad. Well, good, but sad.
You want to do it, go?
All right, so Best Picture, actor in a leading role, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, because, I mean, he's just big enough on there for me. I liked Stephen Merchant as Caliban. I thought he was pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah. Does Hugh Jackman as a supporting character work
Get out.
too?
No,
He's X-24.
You're just trying to copy what I did with What Happened on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All 7 of them. Tightest script, best camera work. The CGI. So I actually just read this earlier today. They didn't just make Hugh Jackman wear makeup and stuff. They actually CGI'd his face to make him look old too.
Really?
Yeah. How cool is that?
Interesting.
The Feels Award for Wolverine's death, but I want to specifically say right before when X-23 is calling him daddy. And,
Brutal.
man, that's tough. Let's see. I was not actually. I should have written more of these down. Best fight sequence right at the start with the guys trying to like take his car apart and stuff. So cool, so badass. And most epic standoff at the end with X-24 and Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's it, I guess.
All right.
Mine, director for Mr. Mangold, actor in a leading role for Hugh Jackman, actor in a supporting role for Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, who I think is actually my front runner. Tightest script, best camera work, most epic standoff with Logan versus X-24, best romance between Logan and Professor X, funniest moment when Laura finally talks for the first time and just starts listing her friends, and then he's just like, shut up. And I thought that was funny. And then when she's also in the drugstore, and she
has the sunglasses.
She has the sunglasses,
that's pretty funny.
and then Logan grabs the cigar, which is also an Easter egg for him grabbing the cigar. I think that was really cute. Just so everyone knows, Tyler's behind us.
Look at that butt.
That was cute. The samurai sword is also for Easter egg. Best movie poster, best fight sequence, which is the opening of the movie.
Logan.
Oh my god. Opening of the movie, and then the casino scene when it's all like kind of slow motion and the seizures happening. Holy god.
Slow-mo.
And just right through and you see the blades. Ugh, it's so good. Saddest death, Xavier and Logan. Worst kept secret, Logan dies. Best Marvel film, even though you won't count it.
I won't. I refuse.
Best slow motion moment.
That's
The casino scene, I think, is kind of slow motion-ish. Even though it's, best trailer, Hurt Myself Today. Most anticipated movie, and then most memorable moment for turning the cross into the X.
All right.
That's good stuff.
And obviously, I would have this for Best Picture.
All right,
What's your final rating? What about final rating?
Oh yeah, stars.
Did I give it 5?
Everyone here gave it 5 stars.
Yes.
This is the first, just so the world knows. Yes, 5 stars.
Yes.
This is the first movie that
All 5 stars for everybody.
Xander gave it 4, but this is the highest rated movie.
God damn it, Xander.
But still, it's the highest rated movie that we have.
So it should have been Blade Runner.
No,
I think
Logan's better.
What?
The only thing, as much as I liked Blade Runner, as much as I loved the Discovery, the only thing realistic I could see being this is Star Wars.
Agreed.
I don't. Okay, we can talk about that in another episode, but I don't think Star Wars is going to be that great.
I want to hear this right now.
Have you seen the trailers?
Yeah, I mean it looks good. I don't know.
What
It's not
are
gonna
your
be-
fears about Star Wars?
I guess I just gotta wait and see.
No. We're having this conversation.
Can we not?
No, I have to hear this.
I'm just not that excited by what's his name, Baby Solo.
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. Ben Solo.
But we might finally get to see the rest of the Knights of Ren.
Okay, that might be cool.
That's like a whole mob, basically, of Sith people.
I guess it's because I was a little disappointed by Rogue One, and the first.
What?
You didn't like Rogue One?
I knew from the trailers that everybody was going to die. It was so obvious.
Yeah, they literally say in episode 4,
Yeah.
a group of rebels
Right.
died getting these plans.
Yeah.
That's not a
I
spoiler.
thought it was well done. I thought the CGI in that was badass, but I don't know.
Yeah, that movie was
Yeah.
great. Yes. I like Rogue One more than I like Force Awakens.
I mean,
I
we'll
disagree
see.
with that, but I agree with you. This is the only movie for me that I think that
Dude.
could top it.
This has Porgs. We might see the Knights of Ren. This has the...
Thank you for saying Porgs before the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, I mean...
Even
priorities
Xander
will-
thinks they're really cute.
Freaking Luke and or Rey may turn evil. We don't know.
More than anything, I'm just trying to not be hyped because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm reserving all of my energy for it.
They have enough faith in Rian Johnson that they offered him to direct episode 9, which he turned down, but now he's going to direct his
And
own...
right.
His own direct and write his own trilogy of Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I don't think
That's a lot of confidence.
Let me be clear. I don't think any Star Wars movie is bad. I am a huge Star Wars fan.
You ever seen...
Shut up, Tyler.
Tyler doesn't like Star Wars.
That's true. Even the worst one is still pretty good.
We've all seen it 900 times.
Anyway,
Phantom Menace has the best lightsaber fight.
I
think,
disagree.
of all of them.
I think episode 3, the very one in the lava.
No, that's even Darth Maul fighting
No, I agree.
Qui-Gon
The,
and
like,
Obi-Wan. Oh.
oh, it's so good. Like when he does like the... Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's my second favorite, behind the lava one, because it's just so epic and shot really well.
don't underestimate my power, Obi-Wan.
Flip.
But Obi-Wan uses the high ground technique.
All right. Okay, I'm done with this. So that's the end of our episode. And just so you know, you can find us at www.uranus-awards.com. You get more information about the awards, the live stream. Follow us on Facebook, which you probably are if you're watching this.
You're one
Instagram.
of the 3 people that watch this.
Well, this is our first one. We could have 10,000 people watching.
Tell
right
your
now.
friends. Tell your sweet old grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
Hi, Mom. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and yeah. Also, do you feel like giving us money? That would be great, because a lot of this whole thing costs money. We have a Patreon page, www.patreon.com/UranusAwards, and you can give us money there, or you can just like find me on the streets and just hand me cash. I will accept it. I think you guys will too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That'd be really kind. And yeah, don't forget to catch our live stream January 14th, 2018. Nominations will be coming out December 17th, because Star Wars comes out the 15th. So that
So
you
about a
can
month.
you'll be able to vote coming
Unless-
very soon.
Unless we do another live stream after this.
Star Wars.
Maybe. Live stream Star Wars right after we watch it.
We'll figure
see.
that out.
Well,
But
maybe-
All right.
you'll be able to
We'll
vote
schedule
on our website, and those nominations will be coming out in like a month.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And that's it.
I'm going to put my
All right.
best suit on. I'm going to get real nice.
I have a Yoda tie I'm going to wear. I'm gonna look good.
Ew. Sexy.
I know.
All right, Mike. Send us off.
It's been going in deep, going dark.
Do we still clap?